Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Iseropia Live. My name is Neil,
And I'm Naomi. Hello.
and we are both wellbeing coaches for Iseropia. And today's live, we're going to be talking about developing a healthy and balanced lifestyle and how we can sort of tweak ourselves, make some small changes so we're moving into that more healthy and balanced lifestyle. Okay. So it's so important that we kind of focus on things such as the nutrition that we put into our bodies. We'll be talking about things around exercise and being active, and importantly, sleep and sleep hygiene and sleep routines and things like that. And how if we kind of start making changes around these kind of subjects, then the benefits for our mental well-being are going to be enormous. Okay, then we really need to look towards moving to a more healthy and balanced lifestyle. You will start to notice the benefits on our mental well-being. Okay, so really, overall well-being is mental and physical well-being together. They're so closely connected. Okay, and there's a massive link between healthy and balanced lifestyle and our well-being, poor well-being or good well-being. Okay, so it's kind of only through it's taking action, like in an efforts to manage thoughts and behaviors around those three topics I've just talked about. Are key to improving our mental well-being. So I can see that there's a few people that's joined us. We haven't got any comments up yet, but I would love to hear your comments. So if you comment as much as possible, we'll try and go through your questions and your comments. I can't promise that we will get through every single comment. It's a bit of a challenge when they're coming thick and fast, but we'll do our best. And we will just going to have a general chat around how we can improve those things. So that's excellent. So we've got a few people coming on, as you can see. So I think we'll be ready for the first question, which is, it's going to be, in your experience, which area did you struggle with the most? So I've done a bit of talking. Do you want to share your experience and then I'll share mine?
Yeah, so I struggled with exercise, especially in lockdown. I found it really difficult. So I've got 3 children and I was at home on my own. So trying to find that motivation for me, because I was quite busy with the kids, was really difficult. So I was in a lot of pain with my hip as well. So I knew I had to do something. And I went with yoga and tried to do that. But my motivation was so low that I just literally didn't have that motivation to kind of get going. So what I had to do was I had to put my mat out on the floor and then sit there and have a cup of tea and then look at the mat while I was having a cup of tea, and then maybe put my yoga music on for a little bit and then slowly build myself up to actually get to the point where I could do that. And after doing that a few times each week, it got to the point where it was literally automatic. I just got my mat out, got straight on there, got the yoga music on, and could literally just go for it. But it's just about small little steps and motivating yourself in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. The small steps, small changes is really where it's at for all of these things. And for me, again, it was exercise. I've kind of made steps to shift my lifestyle more healthily and to a more balanced one, with eating and exercise. But exercise was really difficult, and what I had to do, like Naomi, I've just found the motivation and the self-discipline really difficult. But what I had to do is I bought an exercise bike and put it in my dining room, so it was easy access to exercise. It was there. It was staring me in the face. There was kind of no excuses. And then I kind of just started off very slowly, just kind of doing 15 minutes a day, and then increased it up and up and up. But making these small steps was the key. So yeah, exercise was difficult for me. And the eating side of things, I've made huge strides in making my eating more healthier. And I found for myself, it was about making something habitual. I reckon it takes about 3 or 4 weeks to break a habit and form a habit. So what I was kind of purposely doing was just eating loads of like salads and fruits and vegetables and healthy stuff. I was cutting meats and processed foods out completely. I said to myself, I'm going to eat meat once a week. And, you know, eating fish and still eating dairy and stuff like eating cheese and stuff like that to replace it with. And eventually it became habitual. After about a month, I was totally used to it. And actually, my taste buds changed and everything. And I kind of recognized how healthy it was. And I was reaching for the healthy stuff. I was reaching, it tasted fresh and it tasted healthy. And now, I mean, I've been doing this for about a year, and now I reach for it. I can't bring myself to put convenience food in the oven. It just tastes it tastes really salty, tastes really sweet. And as a result, I've lost a stone. I've lost a stone within a year or under a year. So it's clearly working. It's become habitual, and I feel so much better for it. And actually, my mental well-being is better for it. So the eating I found good. The exercise I found hard, but we're going to talk a bit more about exercise in a minute. And it's not really about massive amounts of exercise. It's about being active. And you know what? If you put the right nutrition in your body, you're kind of more motivated to find exercise easier, and therefore you sleep better. It's all connected.
Has a roll-on effect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So let's go to the next question. So I've suffered with mental health for years and tried so much. How could my problems possibly boil down to working on this? Well, that's a really good question, to be honest with you, because when you talk about mental health and mental well-being, you talk about anxiety and low mood and low self-esteem and things like that. How do you think that food, nutrition, sleeping and all of that, how's it all connected? But it's connected massively. I mean, if you really think about it, you break all of that down, but what we put into our bodies, if we're fueling our bodies with the right nutrition, then it's going to be more efficient. The processes and systems within the body and the mind are going to be working more efficiently. If we're exercising or just being more active, our brains are going to be producing more neurotransmitters. So all those happy chemicals, things like endorphins and serotonin, all those kind of things. So we're going to naturally flooding our brains with those kind of happy chemicals. And then, of course, sleeping correctly, getting that deep sleep, our bodies go into repair mode. We produce growth hormone, which is responsible for burning fats and burning glucose and stuff in our body's excess fats. So, it's going to be really, really important. They're all really connected. If we're getting all those things are happening in our body, then there's, especially in our brains, then there's a big chance that things like anxiety, low moods, it's all going to be easy to regulate, essentially. What do you think, Naomi?
Yeah, I think it's just really important to be really aware that it's all linked. So things like sleep, exercise, food, they're all detrimental to our actual mental well-being. And so if you're working on those things in little steps is like literally the most important thing in the whole talk today, is little steps are the way forward. It's like, I kind of see it's like paving stones towards, the big goals. So yeah.
Absolutely. It's making small little tweaks, small changes within some of those things. You're not going to be able to do everything all at once. You just can find it far too overwhelming. And like one of our listeners has said today, I found sticking to a routine hard, as the last month has had 3 major life events. Okay, but the routine, there's the important thing when it comes to making these things habitual and incorporating it into a routine. it does become easier, but sticking to that routine can be difficult. But then we come down to motivation and discipline, which really is kind of like a whole other. We could do another talk about discipline in itself. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So, what can changing my lifestyle do for me? And let's take this in terms of mental well-being. So what can it do for me for my mental well-being? Okay, so really overall it builds more healthiness into a normality. Okay, so you think of all of those things that are healthy for us, like we've spoken about before, about our bodies working more efficiently, producing all of those natural chemicals. You know, we're producing more growth hormones, so we're like burning off glucose and fat within our body, so we're becoming less weight on us, less pressure on our bodies. All of those physical benefits we're going to get. We're also going to get changes within our brain chemistry. We are going to kind of probably feel more confident, and more our esteem is going to grow as we're feeling fitter and healthier. The big thing for me, I think I need to point out, is the connection we have with other people. If we are out exercising and doing things with people, I mean, perhaps we're not talking about exercising, we might be talking about like more activity, just being out and about, walking with people, going places to be with people. You know, it can really help you change your health around, your mental well-being around. But also, you know, that's going to encourage you and motivate you to change your lifestyle around. So it's going to be like a cycle.
At the end of the day, changing your lifestyle in a positive way is amazing. That's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to do so many different things, and it's going to impact so many different areas of your life that you wouldn't even think that it would. And yeah, I think that's.
Yeah. So it's just about like working out the small changes that you can make in the perhaps more unhealthy behavior that you have kind of habitualized into your life, whether it's, you know, smoking or what you're eating, or the fact that you don't get much exercise, or whatever might be, maybe not engaging with hobbies and things like that. It's being aware, okay? It's being conscious of those things, okay? It's being aware of those things and making small changes, as we said before. Trying to, you know, looking at the big goals might be far too overwhelming. So it's bringing it right back down into these small little tweaks about yourself. You know, that's kind of how I've managed to change a few things the last few years, giving up smoking, started changing my diet. You know, I've got motivators to do that. But each of those things has just been small changes, one step at a time. Like Naomi said, it's like that, a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Really is.
In the right direction.
Yeah.
I think for me as well, routine's like really important. When somebody commented earlier about that, I think that is really important. But then sometimes it's really important to give yourself a break. You're not always going to be able to like for example, with my yoga, I wasn't always wanting to do yoga. Some mornings I was like, you know what, actually today I don't want to do that. And that's okay. But I know that tomorrow I'm going to get on it and I'm going to do it. It's about pushing yourself, but not pushing yourself too far, pushing yourself to the limit that you know that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And when you're ready to do that, and when you feel like you're in the right mindset to do that.
So there's the balance bit, isn't it? It's pushing yourself, but to the limit that you know. So you're pushing yourself to the point where you know it's going to do you good, but not to the point that you're going to overdo it and it's going to become detrimental. And one of our listeners today has, I'm going to read her comment out. It says, the weekly planners I did at Zerovia helped me change my lifestyle. It's taken time, but I'm better at going out of the front door. It does work. Planning is huge. Planning these changes is massive. It's, you know, it's worked for me. I see it time and time again with our members and other people I know. You know, planning just gives you motivation. It's basically, you got a better chance of succeeding in what you want to do. If you write it all down, you plan it, you can break down into steps, you can look at it, and it's quite clearly worked for that person. I've just read that comment out. And you know, if you're struggling with getting out the door, if you have massive amounts of anxiety, then it's limiting your life so much. So it's so important to just get out the door and go for a walk. We're not talking about, when we talk about exercise, we're not talking about, you know, going for runs or going to the gym or doing HIIT training and circuit training and all that stuff. Like for someone in that person's situation, just getting out the door, going for a walk for half an hour a day is going to hugely benefit that person's mental well-being. All right.
When it comes to planning as well, like for me, if I write plans of things that I want to do, sometimes I lose those pieces of paper because I'm quite busy. So what I have to do is I write on the calendar. So if it's on the calendar, it's going to get done. Or sometimes if it's really important and I know I'm not going to look at the calendar, I'll set an alarm on my phone. So I know that wherever I am, that alarm's going to go off and that's going to get done. So that's another way to really motivate yourself as well.
Yes, that's a good tip. So there's lots of things you can do. Sticking things on your fridge so you can see it every time you open the fridge, or kitchen cupboards, or your front door, or your back door. You know, just you know, in an area that's just going to kind of be in your face to reinforce what you need to do. It's just going to motivate you. If you have to go and do something and you really don't want to do it, somebody once said to me, just get your shoes on. You know, even if you're struggling to get out the door, just get your shoes on. Yeah. First step, put your shoes on, and then that's just going to send signals to your brain that there's something that you need to do. Right? It's going to give you that chance to get out your front door. Once you're out there, you can sort out all the other emotions as you're going towards that thing you don't want to do. But just making that first step, it's planning. You know, just visualization of that thing. You know, to reinforce it in your mind. It helps with motivation. Okay, so let's have a look at the next question. So I'm just going to read, before we read that question out, I'm just going to read out a comment that's just come up because it ties in with this question absolutely brilliantly. So I finally managed to find my body limit, which I found hard as I've recently been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. But that's kind of encouraged me to not let it beat me, but continue my exercise just a little bit more gently. Excellent. Well, that lady who's commented that has just answered our next question, really. The question, I've got fibromyalgia and exercising is hard for me. Any suggestions? Naomi, do you want to?
Yeah, so suggestions for fibromyalgia. So basically, it's just being really gentle with yourself and only pushing yourself to like the point where you know your own body. And obviously, when you feel pain, sharp pain, stop that, you know, and try something different. It's about being gentle with yourself. So we're talking about like gentle stretches, low impact yoga, swimming, especially swimming, not for too long, but swimming's really, really good for that as well. Yeah, that's what I've got for that.
So yeah, you can do things like chair or floor exercises and stretching and things like that. It's about keeping your body active. That's what I've noticed. It's not about, as I said before, going to the gym, going for runs, but just, you know, stretching. I've got a bit of a bad back at the moment, and just found stretching, not doing any like kind of usual exercises like press ups and sit ups and things like that, but just by stretching my body about, you know, getting it more supple has helped it massively. Okay, so I guess for fibromyalgia, it's just about, as Naomi said, doing what you can, knowing your limits, not overwhelming yourself, not pushing yourself too much, doing small exercises that's just going to keep you active. And I guess swimming, I've heard before, swimming's like amazing for anything really. So and that lady's just replied, I've been using a weighted hula hoop. Right, brilliant. Takes the pressure off my knees and ankles, but I'm sad to not ride my bike so much. Okay, so this is about getting on top of that emotion and finding new things, right? I guess it's about replacing what you can't do any longer with things that you can do, and opening up a new world to yourself. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So I don't think I've ever liked exercise. how can I find something that works for me? Well, I don't think, when you're trying to change your lifestyle, and if you haven't been used to exercise, which I would say, I don't know the facts, but a majority of people don't really like exercise. It's about these small tweaks and changes and small shifts in mindset. If you just say to yourself, you're not going to I don't like exercise, so you're never really going to do it. Okay.
I think it's about finding something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So something you enjoy, so maybe like going for a walk, walking the dog, meeting up with friends, or swimming, or just something that you enjoy. I think that's probably the key to this question.
Yeah. Something you enjoy, connection with other people, maybe finding something to do with a friend or family member, something you can do together.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to play a bit of tennis or whatever it is that you both enjoy. Okay. It's huge. Setting goals. Again, we talked about planning a few minutes ago. Setting those goals, you're more likely going to achieve something when you set attainable goals.
I think also trying something new. So maybe like thinking like, oh, maybe I might enjoy that. Sort of like just coming out of your comfort zone, trying to come out of your comfort zone just a little bit, and trying something that you actually might enjoy. Maybe something you think, oh, I've not tried that before. Like, I don't know, kayaking or something random, but something that you feel like you might enjoy. Try stepping out of your comfort zone. I think that's going to be quite paramount to this as well.
And then just try and stick with it. Focusing, changing that attitude to I do enjoy that thing. I'm out with my friends, connecting and getting out of the house, doing something different each week, even if it's kind of like a couple of times a week. I'm actually achieving my goals, which is making me feel really good. So it's kind of holding on to those thoughts, which is just going to help you motivate to stick with it, because there's a bit of self-discipline which comes into that. Self-discipline is really quite important when we're trying to make changes and form habits.
When you go with somebody, say like you go with a friend or something, or a family member as well, that also kind of like helps you to go more. So you're sort of holding yourself accountable for somebody else. So if someone else is going, oh, I can't wait for tomorrow, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, I really should go because they're really excited about it. So that kind of helps for that motivation as well.
Yeah. So one of our guys has put, I haven't even been able to start. I feel so unwell. Okay, so it is about being in that right mindset to make the changes. But when you do you'll feel that bit of inspiration, feel a bit of motivation. It's about jumping on that, grabbing that, and building on that. Once you really put your focus and attention into that moment of motivation or inspiration, it will grow and it will feed. And remember, we're talking about really small changes. If you feel you can't do the big stuff, there must be something, just one thing that you can just work on for a few weeks. Maybe it is I don't know, getting out of the house, just going for a walk. Maybe once or twice a week. Okay, they reckon I think it's a 20-minute brisk walk. You're still feeling the impact 48 hours later. So this is in terms of the kind of happy chemicals that it produces in your mind. Okay, it's still there 48 hours later, 2 days later. So doing it every other day maybe is really going to help.
I think it's okay to feel unwell and sort of not be there yet as well. So actually being a little bit kinder to yourself and sort of saying, okay, maybe this week I'm not ready for that, but maybe next week on Wednesday I might try then. So kind of not being too harsh on yourself, just giving yourself time to rest, give yourself another week or a couple of days, however long you think you need, and sort of setting a goal for yourself and trying to achieve it then when you feel like you're ready. Yeah.
And one of our members has said about yoga. And this lady was the lady with fibromyalgia, and she's discovered yoga. Yoga is a good one, and it's so gentle, but surprisingly gets you out of breath. It gives you a good sense of fitness for minimal effort. Right. So you do yoga, Naomi, don't you? So can you relate?
Yeah, definitely. So when I started doing yoga, I was sort of I'm not really sure how I'm going to get into these random positions, and sort of it was quite difficult, and all my muscles were shaking and things. But after about a couple of times doing it, I felt I was so much stronger, After like 3 times, I felt really, really strong, really able to do it. And it was surprising how much I benefited from it. And also mentally as well. I felt so good after a yoga session. I felt, I didn't go to yoga session, it was just at home. But after I'd finished, I just felt so much more clearer in my head, and I felt more relaxed, and I felt more kind of able to carry on with the day. So not just physically, but also mentally, it's really helped me.
Absolutely. And another one of our members has said, I used to hula a lot as a child or teenager. So I like the idea of this, and I could do it in or outdoor, plus easy to store. So I'll be looking later to buy one. Like, this is what it's all about. It's about these platforms are about sharing ideas, what's worked for one, you know, somebody else might not have thought about, but and also re-engaging with the things that you used to do, you know, to improve your overall well-being, essentially, getting the benefits out of it. So getting back into hula hooping, you can do it indoors, you can do it outdoors, you can do it in your home, easy to store, brilliant, excellent step. So another, do you want to read this come out, Naomi?
One other thing I do sometimes is when I'm getting the bus, I'll get off at the stop before I'm planning to, just so I can get some extra steps in. That's amazing. It's a really good way of just like implementing those little steps. Just every little bit helps, doesn't it? Just to kind of like push yourself just a little bit further.
Brilliant. And this is the gold moment, really. Yes, I love the clarity that comes after a good workout. So this is the neurotransmitters.
Yeah.
I think, I can't remember which one, it might be serotonin that is responsible for focus and clarity and things like that. So when you have a good workout, your brain's flooded with that stuff, and then perhaps you can sit down, you're feeling a bit more clearer, you've burnt off all of that kind of pent up energy, feeling a bit clearer, feeling a bit more focused. Maybe there's the time to plan the next you know, kind of workout, or plan the next thing that you have to do.
Yeah.
You've got a question there, Naomi.
Yes. What do you use as weights during yoga? So I use canned things, so like beans or like spaghetti hoops, and literally just because it's not too vigorous, it's because I don't want to go too far out and sort of stretch my back too far. So I just use something that's quite small and manageable, and it actually really, really helps just that little bit of extra retention. So when I'm using like arm exercises and things, I use it for them. So yeah.
Brilliant. And there's another comment saying, well, essentially, all this stuff around exercise, it's given me a passion for getting fit. Okay, so there you go. So this is about re-engaging with meaning and purpose and interests and passions and things like that. And that, you know, is going to cause a lift in well-being, you know, your mental well-being. It's going to produce confidence and raise self-esteem and reduce anxieties and things like that. So it's absolutely key to engage. You know, this doesn't just have to be fitness. This could be engaging in a hobby. This could be engaging in cooking healthily. It could be all sorts of things. Okay, so next question. Talking about cooking healthily, what is a good diet? Okay, so essentially, a good diet is a balanced diet. Okay, you think if you eat the same stuff day in, day out, it's not very balanced. It's not going to be very good for us, is it? You know, so it's about variation. It's about getting all those macronutrients in, so the right amount of carbs, fats, proteins, omega-3. Omega-3 is so critical to incorporate into your diet. They reckon, I was reading somewhere the other day that they think most human beings are omega-3 deficient, or have a deficiency of it. Omega-3 can do all sorts of things. It can reduce, there's evidence to say that it can reduce depression. So it's almost like a natural antidepressant. It can reduce heart disease. It can reduce cholesterol. It's so good for you. And you can get it through eating fish, through things like flax seeds. If you don't like fish, or you don't like seeds, do what I do and supplement it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been into supplements in my life, vitamins and things. And, you know, the last sort of like couple of years, I've moved a bit more into a healthy lifestyle and started to understand the importance of all these things like vitamin D and you know, whatever it might be, omega-3. So I've started taking supplements, just get a multivitamin and mineral, covers the whole basis, bit of omega-3, whatever else you feel works for you. So yeah, so it's very much about a balanced diet, okay, which, you know, is going to be really, really good for your moods, okay, psychological effects, food and moods and all of that kind of stuff, okay. It's going to give you, if you're putting the right nutrients into your body, the right amounts of proteins, the right amounts of fats and things, you're going to have more energy. It's going to help you to be able to think clearer, because again, it's helping to produce all of those kind of neurotransmitters.
Somebody just said green tea as well. Green tea is like amazing. It's sometimes it's not great by itself. So pure green tea doesn't taste great, but flavored green teas can taste really good, and they're really good for your immune system as well.
And again, you can get supplements of green tea. You can take green tea in a pill, you know, if you don't like the taste of it. Yeah. So they reckon that 40% carbs, 30% fat, and 30% protein. Okay, that is the balance that you want to be going for a day. But I've also been reading that, you know, to lose fat and weight is all about the carbs. So it's reducing those carbs. Your body is going to produce its own kind of glucose, because the carbs just turn into glucose. Okay, so, you know, you can change that around for a goal, for what you want to do. So if you want to build muscle, eat more protein. If you want to lose weight, reduce your carb intake. So, but they reckon on standards, 40% carbs, 30% fats, 30% proteins. So let's have a look at some of these comments. Right. The next comment. Okay, let's go to the next question, because. Oh no, sorry. I'm just going to read out the caffeine sets off anxiety, though. Caffeine does set off anxiety. We're going to talk about caffeine in a bit. Well, I wanted to anyway. But caffeine is it can be really good. It's got really good benefits and really good negatives. And anxiety is one of those things caused by caffeine. But yeah, we're going to go to the next question. So I've struggled with binge eating for a long time, and I want to stop. Any tips? Okay. So yeah, there's a fair few tips from small scale to large scale on this. But I guess it's about being aware of what you're doing in the moment. And this is going to be quite difficult to do, because once you're so immersed into doing something. But it's about being aware of changing kind of unhealthy behaviors to more healthy ones. So if you're conscious of what you're doing in the moment, but maybe focusing on past experiences of the feelings that it's going to leave you with, you know, it's that moment then to understand that you have a choice. You have choices of what to do here and now. So maybe once you have got that awareness, once you've made that conscious kind of thought of, hang on, this isn't a great idea. It's about maybe walking away from where you're eating, or leaving the house, going for a walk, and just distracting yourself massively. But I would get that's incredibly difficult to do when you're in the moment.
I think it's about also once you've got that awareness and you know that that's what's happening for you. It's also about getting support, reaching out to somebody that you feel comfortable talking to, maybe a friend or a family member, somebody that you feel like you can talk to about that. I think support in this is massive. And talking to them about how you're feeling, and maybe get some help from them. Also, if you once you've done that, or if you can't do that, go to your GP. We recommend go to your GP for something like this. But also, if you're anxious about going to the GP, it's also about, same again as breaking things down for you. So it's just a little bit easier, and you feel more comfortable to do that. You can write down sort of how you're feeling, what symptoms you've experienced, and just helps you not to feel so put on the spot. And also it will reduce your anxiety to talk to the GP about that, because it is can be quite a big step for some people.
Absolutely. If anyone is struggling really badly with binge eating, then we would highly recommend you kind of seek advice from specialists and professionals in that department.
There's also a website. It's called beat.org, and that has a lot of information there, a lot of support. Also a phone number that you can call if you feel like you need that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to go back to the point about caffeine. I got a bit confused with the comments, so I do apologise about that. But yeah, caffeine, the benefits and the pros and cons of caffeine. There's a lot, and basically it is within moderation. Small amounts of coffee can actually be really good for you. It increases your focus. It can increase your performance in whatever you're doing. It actually helps to burn fat, and there's some evidence that it also reduces the chances of stroke and diabetes. But I guess you need to be drinking a good quality proper coffee.
The benefits of green tea are really high as well, so that probably outweighs coffee and caffeine. Green tea benefits are really, really high. Also for burning metabolism as well and losing weight, that can help. But I think it's about quantity, isn't it? About how much you're having, how much caffeine you're having, and making sure that it's not going over everyone's different as well, aren't they? Everyone can cope with different amounts of things.
So it's about the quality of the coffee or the tea that you're intaking. And if you're taking too much, it's known to become like toxic, which is going to give you headaches, and it can cause like insomnia and anxiety and restlessness and things like that. So yeah, as Naomi said, it's definitely about the quantity that you're drinking. And of course, if you like the taste of it, or you can get decaf stuff, So let's move on to the next question, which generally is around sleep. So what can I do to work on my sleep? Well, caffeine links back into caffeine. So certainly not drinking caffeine over certain amounts of time of the day. So they reckon past 3 o'clock, I think nowadays, that it's still going to impact you on your sleep behaviours. But
can I just respond to that comment quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
It's beat.org, beat.org, and I think it's UK at the end of it.
Okay, brilliant. So caffeine's really going to impact your sleep if you're drinking it too or taking it too late in the day. And really, to work on your sleep, it's all about routine. It's setting out routines and concentrating on your behaviors, which is going to give you the best chance of having better sleep. And also remember what I said about how eating, exercising, sleeping is all connected. So if you are exercising a lot, you're going to get that natural tiredness and probably find that you're going to be sleeping a lot better.
I think for me especially, I used to eat a lot in the evenings, around about 9-10 o'clock. I feel like, right, I want lots of biscuits and crisps and unhealthy things. But I didn't sleep very well. So I wasn't sleeping very well for a couple of weeks. So I decided to stop eating at 8 o'clock. And that really helped. And I looked online, and actually what happens is if you keep eating up until the point when you go to sleep, maybe 10-11 o'clock, your body is still working, your digestive system's working, so your body's not actually resting while you sleep. So if your body's still working while you're sleeping, you're not actually getting full rest. So I think that was that's quite important to remember as well.
So this is why it's important to start shutting down those body systems before you go to sleep. So from 8 o'clock onwards or whatever, 7, 8, whenever it is right for you, it's about reducing screen time, reducing light. It's about reducing the stimulants you're kind of putting into your body. So building all that stuff into a routine is just going to get you a better chance of getting a better night's sleep, I guess. Yeah.
I think part of that routine as well, that works for some people I've heard recently, is going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time every day. So every night going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, that kind of sets your body clock straight, and it actually helps you to sleep better.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's all, again, about small changes. We'll keep going on about it. It's about being conscious of what you want. It's about being conscious of how you're feeling, the changes that you want to make within yourself overall, and small changes to be able to make those steps forwards. You know, it's about planning, it's about discipline, motivation, it's about keeping on trying, not beating yourself up when things aren't going to plan, and you know, being kind on yourself, talking to yourself kindly. All of these things are so important when it comes to starting to make changes. How to stop stress dreams? Unfortunately, I have got no answer for that. How to stop stress dreams? I guess it's about what you do during the day, and about just trying to calm yourself through the day, trying to work on anxiety and on stresses and pressures that you're feeling throughout the day. And within time, those stress dreams are just generally going to kind of reduce in intensity, I guess. I suppose that's the answer.
I mean, also, like, yoga is really good for in the morning, but also yoga can be quite good at nighttime to just like calm yourself down. It's a lot about breathing and just reducing that anxiety. And online on YouTube, there's lots of different videos for bedtime yoga that can actually really help you to kind of calm down and reduce that anxiety that you felt throughout the day, which might help with stress dreams.
And it's about finding these this support out there, isn't it? You know, and finding other sources on the internet and on YouTube and things, watching videos, reading books, and just trying these new tools and skills and finding out what works for you. But yes, all of this stuff's about planning, and it's about small changes. Okay, so I've been sleeping a lot for years, but don't really ever feel well rested. So how can I know if I am getting deep sleep? Okay, so if you are feeling in low mood, you're having a lot of anxiety, you're irritable, you kind of have erratic behavior, you'll find it difficult to regulate your emotions, you have like poor cognitive functions, so you know you're forgetful and you make mistakes a lot, the chances is that you're not getting enough deep sleep. Okay, so if you are getting enough deep sleep, then those kind of things won't be so much of an issue for you. And in fact, we can go through all of these points we've said today. If you're not feeding your body correctly, efficiently, and appropriately, if you're not active and exercising, and if you're not getting enough sleep, deep sleep, certainly where all the repair stuff happens, and you produce all of the kind of necessary hormones you need to kind of repair your body, then you are going to be feeling all of these things. You're going to be feeling anxious, you're going to be feeling low mood, you're going to be feeling you know, like you can't regulate emotions, which is going to impact on things like confidence and self-esteem, you know. So you can start to see the importance of these kind of basic core needs, and they're not kind of really basic. They can be quite complicated, but certainly people tend to kind of don't put any kind of importance on these things when it comes to our mental well-being. So it's really important that we start to take steps and start to action these small little changes to move our lifestyles to a more balanced and healthy one, because the benefits on our mental well-being are absolutely everything. We can put into place all the anxiety tools and skills, all of the skills to lift our confidence and self-esteem. But if you're not sleeping, you're not getting the right nutrition into your body. You know, you've got deficiencies in all these sorts of vitamins and minerals, and you're not being active. Your body, your whole system is not being active. Then those skills aren't going to work for you as well as they could do. Okay, so it's all connected together. This is why it's so important. This is why we cover these subjects in our workshops, and why you know, we relate back to all of them all the time, because it's all so connected. So yes, we just kind of final words really is that, you know, with planning these small changes, going at your own pace, you know, going, you know, being kind on yourself, you know, speaking to yourself well around these changes, you know, you're going to have a much better chance of making these things habitual and build them into your daily routines. Just try it. Just try some small changes within whatever it might be, whether it might be eating more healthier, whether it might be exercising, whether it might be a better sleep routine and switching and winding things down beforehand, and just see whether, you know, your mental well-being starts to improve. Right. Have you got any final?
Yeah, just one thing. If you can just change one thing in like what's going on and with everything that's going on, if you can just change one thing over to something positive or something that can benefit you more, like maybe go for a walk for 15 minutes, or look on YouTube and have a look at yoga, or, you know, anything that you think could help you and benefit you. If you can just change one thing or try and do one thing, honestly, it's the way forward. It's one of the stepping stones towards bigger goals, and it will help you in the long run.
So have any of you guys got any more questions that you want to ask us? If you have, I'm just going to spend like 5 minutes answering your questions. Please, please give us a comment now. If not, just think about what we've been talking about today. You know, please don't just use this hour to think about this kind of stuff. This is like your journeys to improved well-being. So this is going to be going on 24/7, not just within the hour that you know, you're watching this kind of stuff. All right, I don't think we've got any more questions then. So, oh yes, we have. We've got somebody saying, how do you apply this to your life when you have a block? It is about small steps. It's about just focusing on one tiny little thing at a time. Okay, this is, most of us here at Iseropia, we've you know, been through kind of some stuff ourselves. We've got that lived experience, and this is how we've got out of it. And you know, I remember back in my illness, right in the depths of my illness, when I had that belief system that nothing could change no matter what I was trying to do, which just caused me just to isolate, avoid everything. You know, it's just those small changes. I just remember just actively just working on those moments that I had motivation and inspiration to change certain things. And you know, it's so true what they say, that those small steps lead to those giant leaps. After a month of these small changes, you can look back and think, oh, actually, this month hasn't been so bad. I've done some stuff. I've changed some stuff. You know, after 2 months, it gets even more and more and more, to the point, you know, for me, it was like literally 8 years later, you know, I was doing the washing up, and I just thought, you know what, I'm not depressed anymore. You know, it's just gazing out the window, and I just thought, right, this is it. You know, I recognize that myself now. I've done all of this hard work, put it all in. It's taken me time. But if you guys put in the work, it will start to happen for you.
It's about finding what that one thing is that you can do. I think just trying to focus and maybe writing stuff down, things that maybe you might want to change, and then maybe start there. Yeah.
Focus on something that you're really interested in, or maybe what you used to be interested in. Try to re-engage back with it. You know, change is about it's about finding that the things that you used to get enjoyment out of, and focusing on those things which can help you, you know, change into the future. I keep watching these videos, joining in, doing workshops. The staff are patient and kind. I took tiny steps each day. The block does reduce. Excellent. There you go. That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. And it takes time. It really does. And the lady who made that comment, I guess you're at the beginning of your journey. Just don't give up on yourself. Definitely. Keep listening to other people's experiences and other people's journeys as well. You know, keep on trying. That's all we can do. And just remember that we are the only ones that have the power within us to do anything about the changes in our lives. Yeah, we can listen to other people's experiences, and draw inspiration and stuff from them. But at the end of the day, it's us that's going to enable that change. Okay. All right then, guys. So we're going to leave it there. All right. No problems at all. And enjoy. Try to find some enjoyment within your week, and try to find some enjoyment within the changes. And try and do it tonight. Try and do it after watching this video. Just think of one thing that you're going to change over the weekend.
Definitely.
All right. Cheerio then, guys. Bye.